Today I'm going to be making some homemade Tinder tabs using some items that you'd commonly find around your household. When I'm done, I'm going to end up with some tabs about this size, and hopefully they'll remain fuzzy on the outside, so all I have to do is pull it off, strike it with my ferro rod, and I have a fire going. So first thing I'm going to use is cotton balls. Every household pretty much has cotton balls and petroleum jelly. These two, very basic and common. Fire starter works very well, but the petroleum jelly is a little bit messy, especially after you've been in the woods for a few days. But I'm going to add some wax to it. There's a few different waxes you can use. You can just use leftover candles from around the house. You can use paraffin wax. I have this box of Gulf wax I bought. I think it cost me about $4. But today I'm actually going to be using tea light. So I'm going to use one tea light, 1 tablespoon of petroleum jelly. It's a 50-50 mix. And I'm going to dip the cotton balls in them, squeeze out the excess wax. And the other items I'm going to need is I'm going to need a can to melt the wax in, and a stove, a pair of needle nose pliers, or I have a pair of hemostats. And what I'm going to do is I have this ice cube tray that came from the mini fridge that I bought for my basement. This thing's pretty much useless for ice. I think it's enough to make probably 1 drink. But I go ahead, I use this for my Tinder tabs. So I'm going to start by melting the wax. I'm going to use 1 tea light. I'm going to go ahead and start melting that. Now the items I'm using have relatively low melting points. Petroleum jelly will melt at 99 degrees. And most waxes have a melting point somewhere roughly between 115 and 150 degrees. So I don't have to necessarily boil the wax. I'm just going to heat it up just enough to melt it. Okay, since my tea light is exactly 1 tablespoon, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of petroleum jelly. Okay, I went ahead and turned my stove off. I'm just going to let that melt. Said that petroleum jelly melts at 99 degrees, so it doesn't take much. So it doesn't take much to turn it into liquid. Okay, now that my mixture's melted, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dip a corner of this cotton ball into the mixture. Coincidentally, you can also use this with jute twine. Cut it into strips, dunk that in, let it soak in a little bit, pull them out, let them dry. And it works pretty well. So I'm going to just go ahead and dip the corner in. Okay, now like I said before, since the wax and the petroleum jelly have low melting points, I'm just going to go ahead and use my finger, and I'm going to squeeze the excess wax out. Now this is where I'm going to get my fluffy outside. It's going to stay hard on the inside and fluffy on the outside, so all I have to do is go ahead and pull a piece off, and that'll take a spark real easy. They've been setting up for just a couple minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and pull them out, pop them into another slot, upside down, and push them back in. I got this tip from someone a while back, and I've been kind of experimenting on my own. And this is the way that I found for me works out the best. And by turning them upside down, I'm basically forming them all around. Okay, now from 1 tea light, which is 1 tablespoon of wax and 1 tablespoon of petroleum jelly, I was able to get 8 tabs out of it. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how to gauge how much wax to use with the jumbo size cotton balls. Obviously, the smaller the cotton ball, the less wax it's going to soak up, and the more tabs, although smaller, you will get out of each tablespoon of wax and tablespoon of petroleum jelly. I'm going to go ahead and let these cool off a little bit, then I'm going to light one up. Okay, so this is the finished product. I'm going to go ahead, take a piece where it's fluffy, kind of pull it out just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and light it. Okay, just past the 2-minute mark. Still got some pretty good flame going. Okay, 3 minutes now and still going strong. Okay, just past 4 minutes. At 5 minutes, we're starting to lose a little bit of the punch. Let's go ahead and turn that over real quick. Okay, we're at just about 6 minutes 15 seconds and we're just about done here. We had a good flame for the first 5 minutes and then it started to die down after that. That should be more than sufficient to start a fire. Okay, we just passed the 7-minute mark and she's just about out. So 5 minutes of good flame and then a couple more minutes of smaller flame. And like I said, that should be more than sufficient to start a fire, even in wet weather. So those are my homemade Tinder tabs. I got 8 tabs out of 1 tea light, 1 tablespoon of petroleum jelly, and 8 cotton balls. I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there on homemade Tinder tabs. I haven't really looked around, but I hope mine's been kind of educational and entertaining. So I'm Anthony with wildgear.us. Thanks for watching. Take care.